Here we go. Live for YouTube first. What up, YouTube?
What up, YouTube?
How goes it?
Sup up?
Alrighty. And here we go. Let me make sure to rescan audio devices. And we're going live for the podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Welcome to round 2, ladies and gentlemen. Hernan is here, host of the Business Bros podcast, and I'm here with my co-host,
the insurance bro, James C.S. with Pipeline Insurance. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
And who do we got here today, Ham?
Dude, actually, I'm super excited. I have seen this gentleman's logo all over Lyft cars and Uber as well, maybe? I'm not sure.
Uber, Lyfts, my cars, anything I can put a Bulldog on.
Everything. So I have actually seen this logo many, many times. And today we have the distinct pleasure of meeting Mr. Dan Fulkerson from the Batta-Fulkerson Law Group.
Thank you all for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
We want to know all about your origin story, but first...
Well, I got to tell you, I love that this is behind me right now. Like, this is the best part.
It's right there, dude. Branded. Boom.
Staring at me.
Branded.
All right, ladies and gents, real quick. 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. So if you got shoes that you would like to donate, new, used, cash donations, hit James up, 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. He'll hop on his orange Harley right over there, pick up those bad boys from you. So we really appreciate all the donations we've had
Matches my
so
shirt
far.
today.
Right?
James, hit me up. I got
sure.
shoes on shoes on shoes. I have an addiction, so hit me up. I got some pairs for you.
Outstanding. Yep. And, well, we already gave him a shout out, but we got plenty more coming. And thank you, Dan. I will definitely reach out to you. We'll schedule something.
Perfect.
And he
Appreciate
used
it.
to be in your area. Oh, yeah.
No, he's still not far. I'm still walking distance to Mission Hills. I live in Bankers Hill.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
So
going to be
right
a
there.
long, sweaty walk, but we'll make it.
You got good shoes for that.
Yeah, we're fine.
Exactly.
But other people out there don't. Okay, so that's the whole point of this thing. Again, the homeless, they wear out their shoes in about 4 to 5 months. They're doing a whole lot of walking. So we're trying to keep their feet nice and cool and dry during the summer, nice and warm during the winter. 365 is our goal. If you can help us, please reach out to me. Love to ride over and pick up those shoes. I have saddlebags. I have a big leather bag that I can put on the back, so I can pick up quite a bit of shoes.
Boom.
Love that you guys are doing that.
All right, Dan. We've seen your stuff for a while now. You've had some pretty awesome accomplishments, which we'll talk about some of the most recent ones today. But what I really want to know is, how'd you get started, man? Like, did you come out the womb just like, ready to rock and roll, or what happened?
So I wish I could say that was the case. I mean, it really wasn't that. I mean, people see it now and they're like, so you always just, been grinding? And the truth is like, if you would ask me 12 years ago if I was the guy that would be working on Saturdays and Sundays hustling, I would have laughed at you. Like that was never in the plan. It's just, I was lucky enough to find what I love to do. And once you find what you love to do, it's not work anymore. Like it's my life. It's my grind. It's what I love. I wake up every day with a smile on my face, ready to go. So that's when it, when the change started, when I touched it, felt it, tasted it, and was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Let me ask you a question. Like,
Sure.
when you wake up in the morning, do you hit the snooze button?
I don't have an alarm.
That's so funny.
I don't have an alarm.
Yeah, that's
so
even
funny.
better.
I'm 5 a.m., 5:30 every single day. Like, and it's, I was talking about this with a buddy. It's one of those that it bothers me. Like, I wish I could sleep in. I wish I could be able to snooze. I'm laying in my bed ready to go, like, before I'm even supposed to get up. And it's just, that's been the last 3 years.
But it's because you do what you like to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you had to get up and do something you didn't want to do, I'm sure you'd find a way to sleep in.
1,000%. And 1,000%. And I wouldn't be as motivated in all other things in my life as well. I like wake up excited and charged about what I'm going to be able to do that day.
So tell me a little bit about, when did you finally figure that out? Did you ever have a time where you were hitting the snooze button?
Oh, for sure. All through my master's in business, my law degree, I was the guy, and I kid you not, I was the guy that would roll in last minute, hoodie on my head, headphones in, top row of the class, didn't pay attention to a thing. I was lucky enough to have a near photographic memory, so I'd go in and take the test and, do well in the test, but I didn't care. Like, there was no passion behind it. I was walking through steps. I was the guy that was doing all these things because I thought, clumsily, if I do this, I'll make money. I'll be successful. Let's go to law school. Let's get your master's in business. I tell people I got very lucky that I happened to stumble upon what I'm supposed to do in my life, or I'd probably statistically be that other, unhappy attorney that, has addiction problems and isn't happy in life because I'm doing something for money. I got really lucky finding personal injury and knowing immediately that this is what I was put on earth to do. So a lot of, I think, my success is luck in that I found what I did.
Was it like a case that you stumbled upon, or how did you? I mean, there's tons of different type of law that you could have got into.
So many.
How did you stumble on that?
So I worked at the U.S. Attorney's Office first when I was in law school. They put me on like a state cannabis dispensary, and it was federal because U.S. Attorney's Office. It was like, we're gonna raid this and take down these owners, and I'm like, they're operating completely legally by state law, doing everything that they should as business owners, and you're going to go in and take their business, take their cars, take their houses, and basically turn their lives upside down? Like, I'm not about that. So that was not for me. Went to a corporate firm, bunch of paper pushing, never dealing with clients, no real human interaction, couldn't feel any impact, hated it, soul draining work. Went to an injury firm, hands-on with clients, dealing with people that are at the low of lows, being able to help them and personally, stride by stride, carry them to the finish line and get them back to a place in life where they have dignity and respect and they are moving forward in life. And as soon as I touched that, as soon as I knew that that's what the work was, and I met clients, it was over. That was it.
Any connection with Saul Goodman?
Who's Saul Goodman? Oh, Better Call Saul.
Yeah, man.
I don't watch a lot of TV. My fault. No, so I'm the anti-Saul Goodman. There's plenty of those guys out there. My industry is taken over by sleazy, slimy ambulance chasers. Yes. Trust me. The reason that reputation exists is because that's what a lot of the industry is. And I've seen it. I've worked with it. I know that exists because I know those guys, and I'm trying to change that reputation. I'm trying to break that reputation. I'm trying to show people that it's not about that there are people and firms that do things the right way for the right reasons, and it's not about money. So my firm's set up in a much different way than other personal injury firms for that reason. I run my fees differently for that reason. I want to be the anti-personal injury attorney, if that even makes sense the way that I say it.
Yeah. You want to actually, when a client comes in because they need help, you want to actually help them versus make a buck and sue an insurance agency.
My industry has had a stigma on it for so long, and I want to be the guy in the firm that changes that reputation, and at least in San Diego, where people go and they go, oh, they do it the right way. Like, it's not all sleazy, slimy greed. It's about people, and that's how my firm operates. And that's why at my young age, 35 years old, and we've only had the firm, I've been practicing for 9 years, but we've only had the firm for 3, and we're one of the busiest and biggest personal injury firms in San Diego, and it's because of that. It's putting people first, which, how crazy is that's like a competitive advantage, treating people the right way. Like, crazy. But it's
all of a sudden it makes you number one,
right?
And but it transcends industries, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. When you're putting the client first, when you're actually meeting the needs of the individual, that is true sales. Like, that's exactly what it is, right? It's helping them identify what their need is and then providing the value to meet their need through your product or service.
Yep.
I mean, that's by definition what a good salesperson does. That's the one that gets the referral. That's the one that people call. That's the one that you are friends with.
Yep.
Versus the other guys. Now, I'm sure you have both sides of the industry, though. Don't you have somebody on the other side that's kind of like a hard ass when it comes down to it?
I mean, in my opinion, I shouldn't even exist. Personal injury attorneys shouldn't even exist. And the reason why is, the truth is insurance companies are there to pay out when a loss happens. I mean, you guys are insurance. Mm-hmm. I mean this in no disrespect. You're, in my opinion, on the good side of the insurance. But when a loss happens and there's an accident, then it goes over to a claims adjuster who works for the insurance company. And their whole job is to pay out as little as possible on that claim. Mm-hmm. So in an ideal world, the claims adjuster would get it and they'd say, hey, you're really jacked up. You deserve this compensation. Here you go. Life moves on. And I wouldn't even be here. I'd be doing something else. I don't know what I'd be doing, rescuing dogs or something. But I'd be doing something else. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. How it works is it goes to that claims adjuster. They go, hey, you broke your arm. Here's $5 that I have to offer you. And that person goes, whoa. I have $6,000 in medical bills and a broken arm and I can't work for the next 6 weeks. How are you going to offer me $5? And the insurance company goes, well, I'm sorry, deal with it. And then they have to come find me and I have to go to the insurance company and pull the money out of their pockets. And unfortunately, that's the system and that's the circle. So in an ideal world, insurance companies would do the right thing. They'd pay the money that's fair. I wouldn't even be needed. I wouldn't be here. They'd be dealing with the client directly. That's just not the world we live in.
Well, now because the losses are what affect their profits. And so the lower they're paying out, the more money they're keeping, and of course it always comes down to that almighty dollar.
I tell people all the time, and what I think of in my head is, the old like DuckTales, cartoon where you have Scrooge McDuck like diving in the coins. That's what I think of when I think of insurance. Like when I think of farmers insurance, I think of like some guy just diving in a pool of coins because they're bigger than big banks. People don't realize that. You look around town, like every car, every building, every house, everything, it's insured. These companies have so much money, but they don't like paying out on the back end. They would way rather keep that in the coffers and keep that in their pockets.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just look at marketing campaigns in general. Like my kids, and I do this every year when we start talking about branding. I'll just do puns, like the little jingles in class, and every single insurance jingle, everybody knows.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and my kids know what it is.
On your side.
Right? My 4-year-old would sing that.
Yeah.
And doesn't know what it is,
I know.
has no clue, but it's ingrained in their head. Like that's how much marketing dollars they have at their disposal.
Yep.
Don't. I mean, we love it when they take us to Padre games, by the way. So I can't knock some of their marketing budgets.
Keep taking them to the keep taking business brothers to the Padres games.
Absolutely. But you're right. You're right. That's part of the insurance world. We're gonna take premiums and we're gonna pay out as least as possible, and that. There's some companies that do it right. There's some companies that, it's profit driven 100% of the time without a care about the human behind it.
And I'll tell you, you just hit it on the head. There are insurance companies that do it right. Like I'm sitting here, I deal with insurance companies every single day. I deal with all of them. I'll tell you right now, the Farmers Insurance of the world, the USAAs, the AAAs, they're good insurance companies. They do things the right way. Travelers Insurance, they really do. I have problems with insurance companies that hang their insureds out to dry and just go, sue my insured. He'll deal with it. Like, that's not your job. Your job is there to protect your insured. Allstate, that's their response. Just sue my insured. Like, that's not you doing your insured a service. That's you putting your insured in harm's way because you don't want to pay out a fair amount of money. So those are the type of insurance in certain situations where I get a little bit, sensitive to it because people are paying money to be protected. And these are people that aren't my clients. These are people that are the defendants in the case. I don't want to have to sue a person. I don't want to have to mess with someone's life. Don't force me into that situation. And I tell that to adjusters all the time. I'm like, you're forcing my hand. Like, you're going to force me to do something to your insured that I don't want to have to do. But I got to do my job.
I got to protect my client.
Got to protect my client.
That's amazing. And how cool is it that your logo is kind of, an exact replication of how you once your client becomes your client, you're loyal. Like, your dogs love you. You have 3 dogs, right?
I have 3 English Bulldogs.
And they will do anything for you. I mean, they can't run a mile or anything.
No. Wait, was one of your Bulldogs that one back there?
So this is we found an artist in Italy, and we sent her pictures of my 2 oldest English Bulldogs, and she combined their faces to create our logo. And then we trademarked it and protected it, and so that is the go-to logo is my English Bulldogs. And it's one of those things. When we started the firm, this is where I was at with it. Was we all know how much time we spend in our business, right? I wanted to build the firm around my life and around the things I love. Because at the end of the day, money's money, whatever. But building your life around all the things, like how you do this in your house with your family, your kids here, and you're going to be around your brother, it's the same stuff. Like, when you build your life around those kind of things, there's a momentum to it. And it's way easier for you to get behind it and for other people to get behind it because there's sincerity to it. So that's how I put together the firm. I started hiring all the people that I wanted to be around and all the people that I respect and appreciate. And I built the thing around all the things that I love. And the Bulldog runs my life. So that was going to be the mascot. And it's way better than some like scale of justice or something, that's not me. We want to be unique. And again, like, it's 2019 is a different day than 1999. And I'm in a field that has resisted change for decades. And the reason why is it was the old white guys club, right? Like, they wanted to keep everyone else out. They don't want young guys like me in the game. They want it to be that country club game for life. And I'm over that. Like, it needs to change. That's not how it's going to work anymore. So I'm trying to kick down those doors. And so when we started, that was literally my litmus test was, hey, would some 50-year-old old white attorney want to do it? And if the answer was yes, I wanted nothing to do with it. And if the answer was no, they wouldn't understand it, I'm like, let's go. I'm all in. Like, let's roll. Because I want to disrupt the industry. And I know that it's not going to be disrupted unless you're doing things a lot differently than how it's been done.
I love it. A lawyer with a heart.
Trying, man. Trying to spread it.
It comes from the dogs, man. I think the love for the dogs that he has. I mean, buying them a home.
Seriously, dogs are just pure love, man.
The thing that gets me is everyone's like, yeah, but they say that you're going to start to look like your dogs, and I'm like, I pray to God I never look like my dogs.
Get the old hanging jowls.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, really quick before you jump into your next topic, just a couple of comments here. Fabian Bernstein.
What's up, Fabian? How are you, man?
Quick hi. And also, can I see that pen? Is that one of your cool, dope pens?
So we got these pens, right? So we got, obviously branded. But then we got the light on the side of it. You got the stylus on the front of it. My law partner's like a swag king. I swear that's what he does. His wife probably hates us, but she lays in his bed at night and finds good swag. He just bought every person in our office Bulldog slippers.
Nice.
I'm like, you guys can't be running around our office in slippers. People are but yeah, so this is one of our pens. But yeah, we
definitely the old white guy will not handle that.
Right.
Damn straight. No, he'll look at me. I don't understand it, so I'm about it.
Yeah, well, Nino mentioned the swag, and he definitely said that you have some of the best swag out there.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we give out shirts. We started giving out shirts. I wrapped. I have a car addiction, right? So when I started this firm, I had some expensive cars that I shouldn't have had, right? Like the bad situation where you start a new business and how are you going to handle all this life overhead? So I was trying to sell my cars, right? And I couldn't sell them because I'd put myself into bad situations financially on them. So I'm like, well, what do? I wrapped them all with advertising so I could write them off, right? So it's like cut the car payment in half. And immediately they started getting attention because it's like an Aston Martin and a Bentley and stupid stuff I shouldn't have spent
with a dog on it?
With the Bulldog on it, right? And so I started strategically putting them all over town. And I'd drop them off on Sundays in places where you could park for 3 or 4 days. And we started a campaign where if you saw them around town and you took a picture of it and posted it on social, we'd send you one of our shirts and a Starbucks gift card. And we started doing it, and within 3 months, we'd sent out 1,000 shirts. And we're like, what is going on? And so it just became people walking around repping the Bulldog, and it just took off. And so now we wrap 40 Lyfts and Ubers that are driving around town and made it a bigger, find the Bulldog game. And it's just it's a fun community, hunt, I guess you will.
I mean, talk about creative marketing. I mean, that's
trying to do it different, man.
I mean, think about the budget that you had to spend on that. You 1,000 shirts, 1,000 Starbucks cards, but these are people who actually cared, who took the time to take a picture, you have basically a picture review of your logo. I mean, that's money, dude.
Yeah. And Nino,
people don't get that. So many people are like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay.
Nino, who I was talking about, who mentioned the swag, he was one of the ones that had his car wrapped with the Bulldog.
Oh, yeah, the first round. Yep. I remember that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So it's crazy, amazing, right? I'm telling you, because when I came home after we met that day and I had the swag, he was blown away. He's like, you met with this guy? No way.
But that's the funny... You talk about building life around things. That's worth more to me than money.
Yes.
That is worth more to me than money, that people love my stuff. That is...
blows you away, right?
To me. That's what I'm trying to build. So yeah, that's fantastic to hear. I love that.
So tell me a little bit about this new building you got. So what's going on with that?
Man, that was some crazy stuff. So we just bought a building. We've been in the Wells Fargo building with the 14th floor of the Wells Fargo building downtown. It's been a great home, but I have a lot of mentors. And every single one of them tells me the number one thing that I got to focus on is, once you're set up, once you got your staff, and once you got everything in place, you got to stop paying rent, right? And that's what everyone's harping on me. So I've been looking for a building. My partner and I, Paul Batta and I, have been looking for a building, and I found a building in Mission Hills that, to me, is the perfect location for us. Great parking, great accessibility, nice building, bay views, downtown views, really close to my house, and I'm like a 100-hour-a-week worker, so that's huge for me. And so we just bought it. It was owned by the University of San Diego, so it was a blind bid. Like, think about this. They don't tell you what a price is. You have to come up with a price. You don't know what anyone else is offering. And you put it in an envelope, turn it in, and they open it up in Sacramento, and the top bid wins. For me, that's the worst situation ever, because I will, if I want something, I'll outbid you. But I can't outbid you if I don't know what you're gonna bid. So then that puts me in a situation where I feel like I'm going to go too high to win something, and that's basically what happened. Like, I was like, screw it, we're going to get it, and we locked it, and probably paid a little too high, but such is life. I'm going to build my life around the things I love, regardless of the money, as long as it's not a horribly bad financial decision, and I think this is going to be a really good one. So we close in 30 days. We'll build out the first floor exactly how we want it. Nice custom modern office. We'll stay in Wells till then, and then we'll move over slowly but surely.
How big is the building?
The building's 12,000 square feet. Yeah. So the upstairs ready to go. Our already glass conference room, great bay views, ready to go. So that we're going to rent out immediately. So that'll get rented to probably some tech company. They'll take the top floor while we build off the bottom.
Dude, that's nice.
I'm excited, man. Like, it's the scariest, biggest move of my life, but I know, like, I can feel internally it's the right move. Like, I know it's the right move.
So, what's gonna go on the side of the building? Is the Bulldog going up?
Come on, I already met with the guy. We're wrapping every window with the Bulldog face. Like, it's gonna be like a, hey, we're here. Like, you're gonna know it when you see it.
Dude.
So yeah, people are give me 2 months and drive up the 5 Washington Street, and I'll say hello, because you'll see it.
That's so cool, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things that, like, when we started our very first business, young, naive, had no clue about what business was going to be like. I remember driving down buildings. I'm like, dude, that'd be cool to have your name on a building.
Right.
That'd be cool to have, right?
So when I was shopping, that's what I was telling that bro. I'm like, I want, like, that building that's, like, iconic 15 years from now, where you just drive by and you're like, that's the Bulldog Building. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't do it as much as adults, but when you're kids, you have those, like, buildings in your, like, you nickname them, you know what I mean? And I want that building. And so this is, I think, gives us that opportunity.
It will be, dude, it will be. The Bulldog, like, that's just how it's going to be called.
It's a Bulldog Building.
Yeah, it's the Bulldog Building.
And it's going to be visible from the 5?
Oh, very visible.
He's going to make sure.
I'm like, the 5, me. Like,
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, It's if you're coming home on a plane.
Roof.
Are you gonna put a Bulldog?
Yeah.
Yes.
No one steal any of this. Bro.
I love it.
When you talk about, there's the Bulldog Building. Like, that's what I think when I'm coming home from a flight in San Diego. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for different things, right?
100%, man.
Dude, that's so funny.
I love that. Cat's out of the bag. Yeah, that's what's going on. Dog's out of the bag.
Boy, the dog's out of the bag.
And
that was great.
By the way, for those of you who are listening, we're talking about the helicopter pad, nothing else. Nothing else.
No bulldogs.
It's so great.
Oh, dude. So I just now I'm picturing it. Like, I'm looking forward. You're not gonna have it in time. I'm flying out to Vegas this weekend. So you're not gonna have it this weekend. Rush. But next, get
up there with July, some chalk and write you a little message.
By third quarter, I'm gonna be flying out to Texas. When I come home from Texas,
that's my goal. Okay, third quarter goal.
Third quarter goal, right? I'm gonna be looking for the Bulldog Building.
Third quarter goal.
Where is he? I'm gonna get a window.
Expect a picture.
Yeah. All right, dude.
Okay.
All right.
Expect a picture.
Instagram. Look at that Bulldog Building. That's so dope, dude.
I love it.
I'll get a shirt for that one. Look, I found
it. I'll give you 2 Starbucks cards.
Boom.
Nice.
So, dude,
I love it.
All this, you're in law, right? Yep. I mean, it's personal injury. But that's not where you stopped.
No.
You got a bunch of other stuff going on.
Yeah, like, it's just one of those, I don't know, like ADD or whatever you want to call it. Like, I like playing with businesses, and I like disrupting markets. So I have a couple other, businesses and a bunch of real estate stuff that I do. And we're actually, me and a couple other partners are looking to start like a restaurant type QSR model downtown. And then I have a cannabis business as well that I've had for about 3 years. And yeah, just, all sorts of, any place that I can see that's kind of new and emerging and trending upwards, I'll get in and try to stir it up a little bit.
Tell me a little bit about that restaurant. What's the QSR model?
So most restaurant models is the normal. You come in, you sit down, you order your food, they go back to the kitchen, they cook you. QSR model, think of like Chipotle. You know what I mean? Like it's a line. It's fast, accessible. You cut a lot of your man hours out of it. You cut a lot of your internal seating out of it. You cut a lot of service out of it. It's quick, easy. You go, you get your food, and you're moving on with life. It's a much easier overhead play. It's a much easier liability play I'm constantly looking at liability from my standpoint, and it's a much easier employer play because you're not dealing with as many people. And for me, and I mean this with all due respect, but the hardest thing in any business is dealing with the people. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part. Like if you can cut people out of it, like most times it's going to operate a lot more smoothly than with a bunch of people involved. And so it's just something we've been playing around. We're still going back and forth, still trying to lock in a lease, but hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be locking in a lease and we'll be right across from Petco on 10th Avenue. So it'll be a good location. And
what kind of food are you guys thinking?
That's still to be. We already have it all locked, but I gotta keep that under wraps.
Damn, I thought I can get another Bulldog out of
it. No, that'll be coming out in like the next month or so. I mean, we're waiting on trademarking and everything like that. So we have the concept, we have the branding, but we want to just make sure that it's all locked in and protected before we come out with it.
So there's one of the big curiosities for me when I talk to people who've been in business is you have an idea, you want to do something, so you go out and do it, right? And it sounds easier when I say it that way, but when you actually do approach it, how much of it do you go out and do yourself, and how much of it are you looking for the right people? How much of it, do you already have a team in place? Like what goes on your mind when you're thinking about getting started at something like that?
Each project's different. Like you can do the real estate type plays. That's kind of stuff. The investment properties, that's more of like a singular type of deal. Like I can do all that on my own, and I've done all that on my own. But the bigger business projects where you're actually coming up with some sort of business and you're going to run it, whether it's a service or a product, I personally believe it's just easier to do it as a team. So I've always tried to surround myself, and that's the first thing I do. I search out the individuals that have the skill sets that I don't have. I'm very, very good at what I'm very, very good at, but the other stuff, there's a lot of things that I couldn't do or don't know how to do or wouldn't feel comfortable doing. And so in those situations, I've always been, I think, good at finding people that can fill in those gaps. And so for the cannabis business, I don't know a whole lot about the cannabis industry. I had to go find that guy. I had to go find the real estate guy. I was the guy that could get all the licenses and push it all through and get all the city approval and all that. I knew I could do that on the attorney side, but the other stuff I needed some help on. Thank God it's all coming together, and we're going to sell that thing for, few $1 million, in the next month or so. And that's been, a fun little baby, and I'll never see ROI like that ever again in my life. And I'm cool with it because I know it's the wild, wild west and it only comes once, but
good thing you got a shot at it.
And I'm glad I wasn't sitting on the sidelines. And that's what was it that poked me. Like I constantly get, FOMO. Like I'm like, I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines when this train comes through and have to look back 10 years from now and regret it. It's that. I'll tell you, a guy that you should have on this, Jeff Fenster. Jeff's amazing.
Jeff was on the show already. Dude, he's
Jeff,
amazing.
You beat me on here. Jeff's amazing. Yeah. And I'll tell you the story about Jeff. Like I sat down with Jeff a year and a half ago at his Scripps store. First store, took a year and a half before he rolled out another one. Now he rolls them out like every Tuesday.
Yeah, he had like 25, 26 the other day.
But we had an opportunity, me and a couple business partners, to invest very early on in Everbowl. And I straight told Jeff, like, I didn't see it. I didn't think that one person could execute on it the way that he was laying it out, that he said he was going to execute it. And I passed. I walked away from it. And now I see what he's done. And I sat down with him. I made a point to, like, Jeff, let's meet. And to his face, I'm like, you were right. I was wrong. I deserve to get punched in the mouth on that one. Moving forward, if you ever have another opportunity, you know the answer, because I needed that life lesson. Like that was a life lesson, and I don't like that feeling. That damn,
Oh no, yeah.
Everbowl Jeff was a damn, yeah.
And he's killing it.
Crushing it. Jeff's gonna sell that thing for $500 million. Watch, mark my words.
Oh, dude,
Jeff's a savage.
I mean, just sitting with him. Different. Yeah, for sure. I mean, just sitting with him and asking him about the whole process. I mean, it's not just the Everbowl; it's everything he's built around it to sustain it.
It's a process.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and those are one of those, like, in his mind, he had envisioned something. He had it, laid all out. Most people don't execute, like you said, they don't execute that way. They don't think that way in the beginning anyways.
You know what's funny? I found out something about Jeff. Jeff's like me in one way. He gets motivated by people telling him he can't do shit.
Yeah.
Jeff's a guy, if you want to see someone do some stuff, tell him he can't do something. Because that's the same with me. Like, I get my steam off negativity, right? Like, I love it. Like, talk shit to me, please. Like, that's how I get my steam. Jeff's the same way. Like, you tell him he's not going to be able to do something, get out of his way.
Yeah, he's gonna do it and do it way better than anybody else you've ever seen do it.
Yep.
No, he was amazing, dude. So I mean, that's kind of cool, and it's funny how, like, every person that I get to sit down with, I feel it's like how much more, they come in and say, hey, thanks for having me on the show, thanks for all this stuff. For me, it's like the other way around. It's like, dude, thanks for even coming on and being vulnerable and sharing and opening up, because you're helping me and my audience see things in a way that I never would have even thought to look at it. You know what I mean? Having Jeff on the show, having you on the show, describing where you came from, how you see things, how you approach it, dude, it's like invaluable. I have $0 amount value that you can put on sharing what it is that you do, because, I always say that I don't know if I'm going to change the world, but I'm going to help inspire the mind that will.
Yep.
And you guys coming on the show and sharing that sort of stuff. I mean, little things like the Bulldog Building.
No, and I'll tell you, like, candidly, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the invite, because I think people build it up in their head, like, where it's something that you can't do, or you have to be special to be able to do it. I came to San Diego. I went to Mesa College, you know what I mean? To get in-state tuition to transfer to San Diego State, I didn't have a bunch of money or a bunch of family money to be able to start it doesn't work like that. You just have to get to that point, and everyone can do it, where it's time to jump, and you have the courage to jump. And the first time is scary as shit. There's no way around it. Like, it's scary as shit. But the best part about it is after you do it the first time, the second time's not. The third time's not. You realize you can do it, and you realize that it's not that big of a mountain to climb. It's just getting over that first insecurity of, I can be my own boss. I can start my own business. Don't get me wrong. You can do it in your own time, in your own style, in your own, feel. You don't have to go gangbusters like what I did. I was ready. But I think that it's big for anyone out there that's really thinking and has it, like, that intuitional gut feeling of, hey, at some point in time, I got to make my move. Start making plans. Like, you can do it. Like, you have to know you can do it. There's not a whole lot special about Jeff and I, other than we're okay working hard, and we were okay making risks and taking risks. And that's really the two big things that you got to get started is you're willing to work really, really, really hard, and you're willing to take some risks in life.
Let me ask you, how do you view money? Like, what is money to you?
A necessity is a life currency, but I don't use it as anything more than a scorekeeper at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a scorekeeper. Like, I don't, and this
Boy,
doesn't, I don't mean
response.
Yeah, it's funny.
I don't mean to say this like an arrogant way, but I don't think about money. Like, I don't think like, oh shit, like, am I going to be able to, or that, like I overpaid significantly, like a couple $100,000 for this building, right? Like, and I wasn't like in my bed, like losing sleep over it, like I overpaid. Like, it's not about that. It's about, to me, it's about using money to build my life around the things that I love. If you look around, how many people do you know or do you hear about that have $100 million, $250 million, $1 billion, but are miserable? Miserable. They're not happy because their life's hollow. There's nothing there. I would way rather have a life that's built around all the things that I love and everything's there, and not have as much money and be happy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that's 100%. How I view money. That's how I make my monetary choices. Is this going to add happiness to my life? I don't need a jet. I'm not the club guy. I don't really drink. I don't buy bottles. That's not my life. I used to make bad car decisions. Other than that, like, I live a pretty
I used to make bad car decisions.
Like, it's so I don't need that stuff. Like, for me, it's just I want to live a happy, fulfilled life around the people that I love and doing the things that I love. Pretty freaking simple.
Yeah, dude. No, that's very funny how I see it the same way. In my immediate family, in our culture, in our friends that were growing up. they really, I noticed that a lot of people have a weird way with money in the sense that they value what they are exchanging in time directly for the money that they earn. And when you live that life, it places a much different emphasis on the dollar bill. And those type of people are the ones who will say that money's not important, yet everything revolves around it.
Yep.
And I love that little mind shift right there, where if you focus your attention on just what makes you happy and stop trying to buy fancy cars to impress your friends, right? It makes a huge difference. But
you know what else you cut out? You cut out the short-term thinking. You start thinking long-term, and by doing that, you don't cut corners. You know when people screw people over in business deals, it's because they're thinking short-term. They're cutting corners. That's when people screw people over. They're not thinking long-term. If everyone thought long-term and thought, hey, I'm going to be here for 20 years doing this in business, you wouldn't do those kind of things. Why would you? Your name and your reputation is everything in this life.
Start thinking legacy.
Everyone should think legacy. Think longer term out than short-term decisions, because greed creeps into short-term decisions. Greed doesn't creep into legacy.
No.
There ain't no room for greed in legacy.
Not just that. You start really thinking about what you say. You start really thinking about who you hang out with. You start really thinking about, why you're doing the things that you do. Because it makes a big difference. It totally does.
Yep.
Dude, great conversation today.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do. I'm bummed that you guys already had Jeff on, though. Like, that was going to be my recommendation of who you should bring on. So
now you got to think of someone new.
Jeff beat me to it again.
Damn. That's another one, right? That's another one.
I'll come up with one, though. I'll come up with one.
All right. So while you're thinking of that one, looking at the camera, how do people get a hold of the Bulldog?
So if you ever need me, again, hopefully you guys never need us. We're, personal injury attorneys, which means if you need us, someone you know is in a really bad, unfortunate situation. Most times we do car accidents, motorcycle accidents, dog bite cases, premise cases like slip and falls, those kind of things. If you ever need us, our office number is super easy, 619-333-5555. My cell phone, 858-252-2222. That's my direct cell. Every client gets it. Every client can reach me anytime. Saturdays, Sundays, evenings. It doesn't matter. I'm not off limits. That's what I'm there for. You don't get a paralegal. You don't get an investigator. You get the person you hire, because that's how it should work. So anyone can call me anytime. If not, find us on Facebook, Batta-Fulkerson.com, or Batta-Fulkerson.com is the website. Instagram, Batta-Fulkerson Law Group. Just look for the Bulldog on everything, and we're probably close by.
Boom. And if you do find one of those vehicles, make sure you take a picture.
Take a picture of the building when you're flying into town about a couple months from now, and keep an eye open for us. And if there's ever anything we can do, or, even if people just have questions, I get that all the time. Can we call you if we just have questions, we don't have a case? Of course. Pick up the phone anytime. I'm happy to spend time with anyone, even if it's not personal injury related. If you have another legal question, I'm not going to be able to answer it because I know all things personal injury, but what I will be able to do is I'll give you the name and contact for someone who's good, that won't screw you over, that'll be honest and take care of you. So really anything legal related, call me, I'll connect you.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. Or use a video DM. I love using video DMs.
That's how you and I connected.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yep.
You sent me one, I sent you one back, and we're like, oh, we gotta meet in person, like this. Yep.
Barrio dogs.
Yep. That was the lunch spot. I love that. I love it.
Nice.
Well, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it out of the two of you to start this?
That was me.
That was you.
That
Okay.
was me.
And then how'd you bring Bro along?
I told them this is what we're doing.
Okay.
My partnership with Paul.
There is a little bit of backstory with that. There is a little bit of backstory. So the first business that he told you about with our computers and all of that.
Yeah.
I bailed on him.
Got it.
I bailed on him. So we were in that. I was the computer guy.
Okay.
And then I went and got my heart broken, and I was like, F this, I'm out. Joined the Navy, left after about not even a month.
Oh, no.
And left him holding the bag, and he ended up filing bankruptcy, and obviously he's recovered quite well.
Yeah.
He's
living
awesome.
life, yeah.
But ever since then, it's one of those things where I will never let my bro down again.
I love that.
Yep.
It was but that was honestly the greatest education I ever had. Like things like I incorporated, but I didn't actually use the corporation the way it was supposed to.
Yep.
Things like, long-term leases, personally signed for, long-term marketing contracts, like all these cool, all this stuff that in hindsight was like the greatest education I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was like, this mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true, but you wouldn't be where you are today.
Exactly.
Before that,
Exactly.
no way. You'd
No
be in
way.
a different place.
No
Yep.
way.
Yep.
So I
So
told
you
him.
have to thank him.
Yeah, no, yeah. But it's funny because now when I said, hey, by the way, we're doing a podcast. He's like, okay, we're doing it every day.
We're doing what now?
Okay.
We're doing what?
You'll be paying those dues for a little while. You'll be paying those for a little
Hey,
while.
you know what? They're paying off. Honestly, the partnership that we have now, and as hard as we work together, we work for each other. Like we're here for each other's success. That's my family right out there too, and we want to, and we just want to see each other do better all the time, and we're making it happen.
Not to mention, how great of a documentation this tool this is going to be for your life. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
look
Oh,
back
yeah.
on this 20 years from now and go, wow, like it gives me goosebumps because it'll bring you back to this moment right now.
Yeah.
Most people won't have that. It's awesome.
It's true.
It's 100% true. Everything. That's why I love.
Great question, by the way.
Yeah, that was a great question.
The whole time.
That was for the Ask the Host segment, by the way.
Yeah.
Box checked.
Box checked. Last box checked. Now, who'd you want to tag to be on the podcast?
So I was trying to think. So I think you guys, Carl Stedman. The reason why I think you guys need to invite Carl on here is because Carl is just a great dude in general, but he started basically a podcast company where they're doing podcasts, but his whole thing is he's trying to get people to do spread positive images, positive messages, and just kind of drowned out all the negativity in the world. So his podcast channel is kind of blown up, and he's done it all himself in San Diego, and it's just really impressive. He's got a studio downtown, but I think it'd be a good connect for you guys with what you're doing in this, and just like the Sling Studio, you might pick up some stuff from him, he'll pick up some stuff from you, so I think Carl Stedman's a good connect for you guys.
Carl Stedman.
Carl, you better say yes if you're listening.
We'll trade. I'll go to
He
yours.
will.
I'll go to yours.
He's you'll love him. He's great.
Cool,
Awesome.
man. Hey, dude. Thanks a lot for coming
Of
out.
course. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course,
It's a
of
pleasure.
course. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys see the Bulldog, make sure you take a picture. Send it our way too. I want to see you guys taking a picture and shouting us
Sure.
out at the same time. Boom! It'll look like that guy right there. Like that guy right there.
Bulldogs on
Wow.
everything.
Bulldogs on everything. And of course, if you need any help, make sure you reach out. Send them a video DM. Give them a phone call. It was 619-222. Oh, 333.
333-5555. My personal cell 858-252-2222, and that's my personal.
Boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Reminder: 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. New, used, cash. Hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. And if you need any insurance help, personal, life, health, commercial, whatever it is, or you want to add insurance into your particular line of business, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com.
I know a guy that just bought a new commercial building that needs a quote.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, very nice. We will talk.
Boom. And see, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it works.
That's how business is done.
That's how it is. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Happy Tuesday.
And I'm out. Bye, Facebook. We love you.
Always a pleasure.